April McKinney grew up on a family farm and even as a young girl was marked much more indelibly by the lifestyle of her parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents than by contemporary interests. Now on a small farm of her own near Yanceyville, she's developing different endeavors to allow her to keep old ways alive.
I'm April McKinney, and I'm attempting to earn a living on 11 acres in Caswell County, North Carolina, and making a home in a historical farmhouse that was set for demolition. What we paid for the place was basically for the land. They threw the house in because it was set to be demolished. The house was supposedly built back in 1820s, and we found this land. My better half, Mark, and I collaborated on it and came together and redid it and really salvaged a piece of history is what I look at, and I own a piece of history now. Well, my main business is selling flowers that I grow organically with no chemicals or pesticides, and everything I do here is all natural using organic methods. One of the things I depend on most is my little Farmall 100 tractor from the late 40s or early 50s. And it's been perfect to turn that garden plot out there, turn my little vegetable plot, and do my flower planting. So it's really worked out great. And it's actually something I'm real comfortable with because that's what I grew up using. I've been in flowers all my life, and I fell in love with them as a young girl. And that was something I did as a hobby. And I collected flower books and learned as much as I could. I was recruited, or one of the women, like in my church or doing a gathering or an event, they would ask me to do the flowers. And then I was invited to the farmer's market to bring cut flowers. Got my things together and went over there and started selling the cut flowers by the stem or doing arrangements. But the flowers are seasonal, so to keep things going at the farmer's market year-round, I've had to be creative as in making and selling homemade jams, jellies, and pickles. I also raise chickens in a movable coop, so what they leave behind naturally fertilizes the grass and the pastures and amend the soil. I also offer the eggs at the market, which are organically raised. And the eggs are farm fresh and are beautiful colors and different sizes. And one of the crafts I offer the hardwood walking sticks from saplings I cut here on the place, skinning the bark from an antique shaving horse and draw knife. Then I paint or decorate them. I make and sell a pretty wide variety of other arts and crafts, and I sell my own paintings that reflect the way I feel about living on the land and the beauty of nature.
You grew up on a farm, so I understand why you had farming in your blood, but how did the artistic and creative pursuits kind of get layered in there?
Well, after work, I would see my parents come in, and my mom was a painter and artist. My father was a designer of his farm equipment and things that he would build around the farm. So I had it on both sides of the family. I took an art class in high school and then went back as an adult and took a drawing class. But as far as just the art, I've taught myself. I mean, I don't boast about that. For the most part, it's really come from me just sitting down and painting. Well, I've had to carve out like a niche to keep my hands in the dirt, so to speak. But it's worth it. I was even able to trade landscaping work for 2 calves a while back, and now they've had a calf each. The plan is to have my own beef that I know how it was raised and I know what was done to it, and it's all grass-fed, no grain, and I know the care that they've gotten, and that's really important to me. So I will be maybe marketing one to keep the program going and fund different things that I might need, and then I'll have one processed and have my own beef. I have 2 horses, and I collect antique horse-drawn farm implements such as plows and hay rakes. At some point, you know, I want to try to maybe do some breaking land with the horses or using them more in the program since I have them, and it's a green way of doing things. And it's a neat novelty way of doing things, and some of the younger people that weren't exposed to that might get a chance to be involved in it or see it happen, so that's important to me.
What's your vision for the future on this place?
everything that I have now, I'd like to multiply it by 10. I'd love to have a herd of 50 cows or 100 cows or whatever's feasible, but that would take more land and more resources. But for right now, one of the most important things is to keep up a certain type of heritage and a certain type of old way of doing things. I wanted that down back to basics, back to earth type lifestyle, where I do things with my hands and I'm close to nature and the real things. And even from the time I've been a little girl, I've been like a pioneer at heart.